What's up, everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm Jesse Showalter. Thanks for joining me on the live stream. We got people jumping in the chat right now. Craig Wells, my homie, in the chat. One of my members is there with his premiere emojis and all that stuff. We got other people like Harshit and Artemis and Mandy and Subham Rai, and we got all sorts of people jumping in the chat. And I'm probably messing up all of your names, but I love you. I love you. I'm so happy that you're here. Let me know where you're coming from. Let me know what your favorite emoji is. Let me know what's your favorite morning time drink, because I like to have some coffee and then immediately after that move to a Legend Spicy Nootropic performance drink. It's got ginger, it's got cayenne pepper, it's got all sorts of stuff. It's, what is it? Vegan, natural, probiotic, all sorts of good stuff. Helps my brain work. So that's what I like to drink in the morning. All right, I'm so excited. Today we're talking about Craig Will said, dang, son. That's right. Okay, so this morning we're talking about design tools that I use. So we're going to be talking about all sorts of stuff. Might be some tools that you know I'm about to talk about. There might be some things that you're surprised at. And today I opted to not go with the green screen background, but just the office, so you could see the office space if you wanted to. We got people from Argentina. We got people asking, do I do this often? Every single Friday? That's a lie. Almost every single Friday. Most Fridays. A lot of Fridays I do it. But Friday's the day for live streaming. But pretty soon, what do you think about this? Hey, YouTube out there, all you are in the live stream right now, what do you think about Stream Week? What do you think about me doing a stream every single day with a design challenge that you can participate in, follow along, submit your work, join me in a chat room, and actually have me give you feedback and comments on it? What do you think about Stream Week? Let me know down in the comments. Tell me, Friday Dab, tell me what you think about the idea of a Stream Week. I would love to maybe kick something off like that. Maybe my own little creative challenge. That could be fun. People come from India, Argentina, India, all over the world. Man, oh man, we're about to jump in. I want to give one more shout out to people like Craig Wells, to my members. You just hit that little join button. You become a member. You get behind the scenes footage. You get early access to videos. You get design files. You get starter files. You get all sorts of stuff from me. And pretty soon, a little birdie told me that a course might be coming out soon. So maybe you get discounts to things like courses and merch and other opportunities that you have. All you have to do is be like one of these fine folks and become a member. Be pretty cool. People saying yes, yes, yes. I think you're saying yes to Stream Week, which I say yes to as well. So let's get that going. Hey, what's up, South Africa? Hey, what's up, Nigeria? What's up, Harshit and Uwandra and Hatim? Everybody in the house. All right, let's get started. We're talking about design tools that I use. Okay, so design tools that I use. Feel free at any time to ask a question. We'll be doing some Q&A stuff, absolutely. And then we will be doing portfolio reviews at the end of the stream, but I have so many portfolio reviews saved up from last stream. I'm just going to be pulling off of those. So don't submit your portfolio today. I got to get cranked through some more that we saw last week. Let's jump over to my desktop. All right, so I guess this is like the first thing that you should see. I am currently on the desktop you're seeing is a MacBook Pro, but you don't see that I'm streaming over here on a PC. So let's go back really quick. I use both, okay? I use a PC and I use an Apple computer. Reason being is the MacBook Pro is great. I love my MacBook Pro. Let me see if I can get a little table. PC, which I'm not able to show you right now. It is a custom-made PC. Got it for a pretty good deal online, and it has a lot of power. So it can handle things like these streams and video editing in a way, like hardcore way, animation, Adobe Dimension, 3D stuff. It can do all that stuff. And then my MacBook Pro is great for UI work, UX work, daily stuff. And actually, I tell you, I like the interface, or I like the operating system on both. I like me some Windows 10, and I like me some Apple OS X operating system. So that's the first thing. But let's go back now, and I think maybe the first thing we can do is boom, 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 boom. Let's just talk really quickly about what's in my dock. I think because what's in the dock of my of my MacBook Pro. Obviously, got some Spotify tunes. I use Fantastical for my calendar of choice, and I use Spark for my email of choice. None of this is paid promotion. This is really the stuff I use every day, y'all. Okay, I use Notion for all my note taking. We're gonna talk about more of that later. And Google Chrome is my primary browser. Then you can see I have Figma, Xd, Illustrator, Photoshop, and Icon Jar, which we'll talk about. I have Visual Studio Code for my editor, and I got my little stocks thing right there, all right? If you're wondering how I put this little gap in my dock, I actually did a video on that a while back. It's just a terminal command that you pop in, and you create invisible spots, and you can actually grab these little spaces and drag them around. So I like a little separation. I'm just kind of weird like that when it comes to my organizing things. But let's talk about the big one that all of you want me to talk about, which is design software. You will notice that I currently have Adobe Xd and I have Figma open, okay? And that's why, and some of you might go, why don't you have Sketch open? Because I don't even have Sketch installed on my computer anymore. I don't use it anymore. This is gonna be the first time I say it publicly. I am over it. I'm over Sketch. I apologize if you're a Sketch user. I love you to death. More power to you, but I'm over it. I can't handle it. I don't want to do it anymore. And here's a couple reasons why. I used Sketch for a long time. It's the granddaddy of the modern UI design tool, right? Everybody was designing interfaces in Photoshop and Illustrator, and then Sketch came out and it blew minds, right? And that was great. And it stood the test of time. I was all on board with Sketch, started using it immediately. And it was great. But then Figma came out, and then Adobe Xd came out. And then they started innovating, and they brought other things to the table. And Sketch just kept doubling down on performance, which you gotta appreciate. You gotta appreciate the double down on the performance. Love it, thank you. But then things started happening like, oh, it's Mac only. And then, oh, like, Figma has like live co-editing. You can see people's mouses moving around. And then, there's all these other great features that the other ones are bringing. Oh, smart animation and not just screen-to-screen prototyping, like commenting right there in the design document inside of Figma, or a pretty comprehensive XD like dev or inspector mode or sharing of links and tied into the creative suite. So once the others started to really build out their platform, Sketch, in my opinion, just my opinion, started falling behind. I don't use it anymore. I'm over it. So I'm not a fanboy of any one design tool, but I will say, once something starts to fall behind so hard and they're not making honest strides to keep up, I'm done. And I'm not all about the features. I'm not jumping on the hotness of the features. It's not a feature war thing I'm talking about. I'm just talking about I can't depend on Sketch to give me what I need in this modern design kind of environment that we're working in right now. Okay, so that's just me. You do you. I'm gonna do me. But here's the tools that I do use. I love Adobe Xd. Okay, I dig it. I think it's great. I think let's open up like a document or something inside of Adobe Xd. What's a document I can't open up? Okay. No, that's not one we want to open up. Anyways, I'm going to open up my desktop so you can see Figma really quick. I love Figma. Let's talk about some of the reasons that I love Figma. Hey, if you're here and you haven't yet, like and subscribe, become a member of the channel, or just subscribe to the channel and follow me along so we do more fun things like these design live streams. I love Figma. I pay for Figma now, right? Just so you know, side note, Figma's moving to a paid plan, right? There's still going to be the freebie, but it's going to change. Maybe it's already changed, but it's changing really soon. What that means is you can no longer have unlimited artboards, unlimited projects, blah, 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 blah. You can't have all that. If you have a project, you can only have, I think, like 3 projects, and each project can only have 3 pages or something. So they're limiting the free plan. Why? Because they have market share. Why? Because they spent years offering an amazing free design tool, and it's time for them to start making some money, right? Okay, so I support Figma. They do a great job. Also, I think announcement FigmaCon or something like Config. It's the free Figma conference that's coming up soon. So I might attend that. But I pay for Figma because it's super worth it. I love the organizational system, first and foremost. I love this idea of having my own design team or my own team, and then having all the projects inside of it. Love it, love it, love it. Think it's the greatest. Then I also love the fact that all of these are live design like files. So somebody else can jump inside of this. Love it, love it, love it. This is my DC website design that I did the other day on the channel. I love that you can comment right here and then resolve those comments. I love that you can see other people's stuff. I love that I can go back and see version control, boop, 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 version history. Look at all this. I'm gonna go back to an earlier version right now. Version control inside of my design file. Are you for realsies? Like all of this is just native inside of Figma. Come on, Figma, you're crushing the game. Love you. Love plugins. The plugins that they have are amazing. Can we talk about some of my, okay, really quickly before we go into that. I love Xd as well. Xd's got plugins. Xd's got great things, 3D stuff or perspective stuff. The design tools are really solid. You know, sharing. I'm not so sure on the co-editing. Co-editing's pretty good. I like the co-editing thing, but it's not quite the same as seeing other people's mouse cursor move around inside of Figma. Can I tell you something? One thing I loved to do when I was working on a team in Figma was we would all be in the same design file and we would be like doing design reviews and almost like kids messing around in class, we'd drop little notes on the side of artboards like, hi you, I miss you, let's hang out soon, let's go get a drink after work. It was great. I loved it. Okay. Somebody said heavy on the RAM. Sketch is heavier on the RAM. I feel like a lot of these design tools are getting a little heavy on the RAM, but that's okay. I love the typography options of these both. They're really, really good. Here's, if I'm going to be really honest, both of these are neck and neck for me and I use them constantly. I just got done doing 2 projects inside of Figma and I just got done doing a project inside, these are paid projects inside of Adobe Xd. This is because I love them. Adobe Xd is obviously tied into the Adobe Creative Cloud suite. So that means that I can go grab like libraries that I have. Like, look, here's all my libraries, and these work in Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Premiere Pro, XD. What a nice stinking feature that is. So these are my main UI design tools. Okay, I don't need to, do I need to say any more about that? Okay, maybe not, but here's the next thing that I am gonna say. Let's talk about plugins really quickly, because I love plugins, and so a lot of these plugins are the same for all of the design programs, Sketch, Illustrator, Sketch, Figma, and Adobe Xd, okay? So let's talk about some of my favorite plugins that you might find in all of these, or maybe some of these. First off, let's talk about let's talk about Blush. Let's talk about Blush. And also, maybe I have a little giveaway to do. Anybody want a Blush license? Anybody want a Blush license? Because I might have permission to give away a few Blush licenses, which is going to be really, really fun. Let's see. Okay, let's launch Blush really quickly here. All right, what is Blush? Okay, let's talk about it, shall we? I'm going to move stuff out of the way. Blush is an illustration plugin that is made by Pablo Stanley, the amazing Pablo Stanley, the funny, who I also might be co-hosting on a really fun project pretty soon called Roast My Portfolio. Let's see if I can just find that really quick on Eventbrite. Roast My Portfolio. Where is it? Eventbrite. Yeah, let's talk about this really quickly. Hey. Oh, that's not it. Let's go back. Sorry. What happened to... No. Come on, Eventbrite. Don't mess with me. I want to open up a certain event. Come on, y'all. Man, my browser's working super slow on my MacBook Pro today. But let's talk about the fact that I get the opportunity to host this really fun thing called Roast My Portfolio with Pablo Stanley and Sharon Onye, and I'm doing that on April 30th at 12:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can register. It's free to do. It's gonna be really, really fun. We're basically gonna get people's portfolios and be less than constructive. We're gonna roast some portfolios that are submitted with the intentional purpose of roasting them. So if you want to join me for that, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Both of them are super talented, super fun. So join me for that. It's gonna be hilarious, I think. But Pablo Stanley is the creator of Blush, and it allows you to create some really amazing illustrations. So here's all these illustration packages. I have a license because I love Blush so much. And let's say we wanted to create some like really fun like avatars. I'm going to open up Dayflow. Maybe we want an avatar with a background. I click on it. It slaps it into my artboard. But then look, I can mix and match all the different components. So maybe I want some wavy hair. Maybe I just want to randomize. right? Boom, look at that. I can add like same person, same shape and beard. So this is the same for all of them. It has really unique, fun collections by awesome artists, different artists inside all of these. So I love the blush plugin, and I think it's for almost every single design platform, Sketch, Xd, and Figma. Love that one to death, okay? What else do I really love? Love Content Reel inside of Figma. Content Reel allows you to add content, images, text, icons, all of that stuff. You can put in your own or data like sources or sets inside of there. Images, avatars, all that fun stuff. Love that one too. Really, really cool. I also love Lottie files. I'm not going to go into each one of these. I'm just going to point some of them out because this is taking a really long time. Figma Measure. If you like to do red lines on designs, okay, this is a good one. If you want to redline a design, a red line being after you're done with your interface, you're actually able to, you know, like give documentation to it. Figma Measures maybe a great one for you. Let's see. Spell checker, obviously got to have that one. Stark is a good one for accessibility. UI faces, Vectory, and Unsplash. Those are some of my favesies. Cool. Love it. All right. So I love Figma, love XD, don't love Sketch. Those are some of my favorite plugins that you might be able to find on all of them. Okay, we're going to get to our next category. But first, thank you, Craig Wells, for not just being a supporter, but upgrading to Insider. Bro, you and me are going to have fun, Craig Wells. Really, really excited. Thanks a lot for that. You know what? Let's do a giveaway. I want to give away 2 licenses to the Blush plugin. And I tell you what, let's do it this way. The first person that, I don't know what to do. Okay, let me think about this for a second. Then we'll figure out how we're going to give away these, oh, I got it. The first person that can roast me in the chat, okay? The best roast in the chat, the 2 best roasts of me in the chat will get a free Blush plugin. This is in honor of Roast My Portfolio with Pablo Stanley. If you can roast me right now, go ahead. Talk about my designs, talk about my office, my glasses, whatever. Talk about anything you want. Just go ahead and roast me, roast my work, whatever you want to do. If you can roast me a good one, I will give you a free license to Blush, okay? Somebody said blush me. Okay, maybe. Oh, hey. Those Cats Music said, welcome to the Insider. Or welcome to Insider, bro. You just became one of my members. That's awesome. Okay, Saral, somebody give me a good roast. And while you're doing that, I'm going to start. Ooh, you could never. Come on, it's okay. Open it up. Open up the roasts. It's cool. I'm inviting it. It's going to be lots of fun. Okay, I tell you what, how about I open up a piece of work that I've done, and then you can roast that piece of work. If you feel uncomfortable personally roasting me, how about we roast a piece of work? Okay, let's talk about, oh, you know what, I didn't really like this design that I did, so let's talk about it. You guys can roast this design. Here we go. I did this responsive website design. Let's roast this design, okay? If I was a design tool, I would be Sketch. Okay, all right, I like it. Like, what do we think about this design? I'm gonna roast my own design really quickly, okay? What are we, a 1990s WordPress template? What am I doing here with this stuff? Come on. It's not really that bad, but I'm just trying to be hypercritical right now. I like the contrast of dark blue wall against the white wall. Okay, cool. Yeah. Somebody else said blush me. All right, you want the Blush license? I get it. What else do we got in here? How else could we roast that? How did you apply that clean fade out on that hairline? Ah! Oh my gosh! Hey, that was good. Hey, Bajet, you win a Blush plugin license. Okay, that was amazing. So I want you to DM me, Bajet, and I need confirmation that that's you. But DM me on Instagram with your name and your email, and I'm gonna send that to Blush. You're gonna get a free Blush license because that was amazing. Bajet's a winner. Everybody, give Bajet a big round of applause. He talked about the fade. Hey, I'm 36, bro. It's happening. It's happening to us all. Okay, cool. What's another one? Your hair's so greasy you could use your head as a primer. Ooh, That's a good one. Okay. Too many illustrations, but I like the minimalist touch. That's really nice. That's a kind. When you rely on Among Us to save the design. Okay. You can add a slight light blue at background. Woohoo! Baget! The winner. Okay. You look like Chester Bennington on all the energy drinks. I love this. I love it. Okay, this is one of my favorite streams I've ever done. Okay, give me one more. Somebody, my crocodile brain would help me to leave this site right away. Crocodilian brain. Okay. I didn't like your video in circle. It should be a square with an 8-pixel corner radius. True. Very true. Come on. Anybody else got another one? Okay, I'm just going to pick one if we don't get any other ones. So come on. I'll give you another 10 seconds while we're looking at stuff. You can go back to my design if you want. Let's look at the tablet view. If anybody wants to roast this or roast me, your energy is too high. Elon won't risk charging a Tesla with it. Boom, Saral, you're a winner. I love that. It's a great roast. Only because you brought up my man Elon Musk. Okay, so Saral and Baget, you guys need to... Your tats need more white space. Oh my gosh. That's such a good one. You would have won, but Saral came in clutch. All right, so Saral and Baget, you're the winners. DM me on Instagram. Give me your email. I'm going to get you a blush license because you guys are so awesome. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about something that you may not think I would have talked about, which is books. This is a design tool that I use all the time. This is where superpowers come from, in my opinion, is books. And so I'm going to talk about a couple of books, and the roasts are still coming in. I love this so much. Okay, hold on, I'm reading some. That felt so weird. Hey, don't feel bad. I like a good roast from time to time. It's healthy, right? You should be able to roast yourself and invite a little fun critique and fun jokes on yourself. Have a little sense of humor with yourself always. Okay, let's talk about some of my favorite books I think that might benefit you. I'm wondering, I lost one of my books that I always recommend, so I'm just going to talk about it, but that's the Non-Designer Design book by Robin Williams. Great for design basics. Here's another one. Let's talk about The Win Without Pitching Manifesto by Blair Enns. He's been on the Future channel lately. Really, really good stuff. Just really, really solid book that if you are freelancing or even if you're trying to find a job, this is good. It helps you to understand your value as a designer. I like this one. I kickstarted this one, Pocket Full of Dough from Chris Doe over at The Future. Really, really cool book. Just has a lot of his wisdom and knowledge from over the years. So motivation for you. So that's really, really cool. Hey, if you're into branding or you're starting a personal brand, I recommend Primal Branding by Patrick Hanlon. This is a great book for anybody of Patrick Hanlon. That's a great one. Hey, if you want to be a design leader, here's another one. The Workshopper Playbook by Jonathan Courtney from Jonathan Courtney from AJ and Smart, and I would read that hand in hand with the Sprint book by Jake Knapp. These are great books, great resources for anybody short amount of time. So check those out. Let's talk about a favorite of mine, a classic, Don't Make Me Think by Steve Krug. It's going to seem a little bit old and even says a common sense approach to web usability, which sounds kind of Let's talk about another one. Well, this is a big guy. This is an O'Reilly book called Designing Interfaces. This is actually where I started years ago. A lot of it's still very, very applicable. See all my notes and my tags up there, but this is going to tell you the difference between like all the different types of interface design, portal methods, usability methods, you know, accessibility, all sorts of stuff. So it never hurts you to read a good O'Reilly book from time to time. Hey, you want to do freelancing? Hey, I would recommend Freelance and Business and Stuff by Amy Hood and Jennifer Hood, the team. Business, if that's something you're interested in. They'll challenge you to write a budget and talk about money. Oh, look, I do have the Non-Designer's Design book by Robin Williams. Not that Robin Williams, this Robin Williams. It's a great book. One for anybody that's a novice and is getting started. And then last recommendation for the day is any sort of Logo Lounge resource. These are great. Oh, my mic's not working. Oh, my mic's not working on the tabletop scene. I'm so sorry. I'll stop using it. I apologize. This whole section's been ruined by that tabletop scene. So the Logo Lounge resource is great because it just, oh my gosh, I got all sorts of inspiration stuff falling out of here. This is just great to read through for inspiration. That's all. So, hey, I apologize about my tabletop scene. Audio not working. I should have double checked that. Man, I apologize. Thank you all for sticking around. Sometimes things just don't work out. All right, let's move on. Hey, these are all the books that I just talked about. So I'm going to take all of these and put them on the floor. We don't need those anymore. Let's move on to one more resource. And actually, I'm going to fix my audio on the tabletop cam. No, I'm not going to do this. Too much time. Here's a resource that every designer needs. A notebook and a pencil. Now, this is a fancy pencil, but you just use any kind of pencil. But a notebook and a pencil to write wireframes, notes, thoughts, ideas. You should always have a notebook with you when you are anywhere and getting work done, okay? So again, apologies for the audio not working on the tabletop shot, but a notebook and a pencil is a huge one for me. Let's keep going. Let's talk about more design resources. More design tools, yikes, that I use constantly, besides just Figma and Xd. I'm gonna talk about Notion for a second, okay? Notion's a big one for me, and I know you're like, Notion for design? That's like a note-taking application? Nah, it's kind of not. So here's the thing, whether you're a designer or a developer or whatever you are, you need to have a way to organize things, and I use Notion to do all that. So I have this dashboard that I use. I did whole videos about this. You can watch it. You can buy the template that I've created, or I walk you through the whole tutorial about how to make it yourself if you're a Notion user. I have a weekly habit tracker. I have all of my tasks separated by project and silo of my life, and I can check those off, priority, due dates. I have a freelance design section where I have all of my clients, all of my resources, my to-do list by there. I can click in and go to all of my archived projects. Boom, there they all are. I can talk about money here and all of my finances and everything like that. So again, like here's your freelance business stuff. If you're interested, you can download this template as well. But I use Notion for everything. On top of that, it's also really good for like I take client notes inside of here. I keep invoices in here. I drag all PDFs, everything inside of there. So that's a thing that I do. So Notion, huge one for me. It's free to use. So if you're interested in using Notion to start organizing your life, that's a thing. Let's go through, oh man, before we do this, I'm going to open up my applications folder and I'm going to see what else I missed. Okay, of things that I use. Okay, so obviously I use Adobe for a lot of things, right? InDesign, Media Encoder, Photoshop, Premiere. I use the entire Adobe suite. It's important to me. It's worth it to me because it makes me money, okay? But I also have Affinity Designer and Affinity Photo. Not too bad, really. If you can't afford something like Illustrator or Photoshop, you can't afford the Adobe CC suite. The Affinity suite's pretty legit, and they have Affinity Publisher, which is like their InDesign version. Pretty good. So like, let's say you were a UI designer and you needed some sort of, tools to like get things done, you could get away with like Figma and Affinity Photo, which is like a one-time purchase, right? Or maybe it's just worth it to you just to have the Adobe CC suite. It's up to you. Alfred is like a task manager inside of my computer, so I can always just hit a certain key command and it opens up and allows me to start running things. App Cleaner, that's a good one. It helps me delete and get rid of applications I don't need anymore. Bartender, I use this. This is the little thing up here in my menu bar that hides the excess amount of things that are running on my computer, kind of tucks them away for me, okay? Be Focused is a Pomodoro timer. So I use the Pomodoro technique still. That's good. Clean My Mac is super legit. I use it every single day. It's a seriously good one. It's made by MacPaw. They make a lot of good products. That's a good one. Clocker, use that. Using it right now. That way I can have multiple clocks running on my computer. So that's San Francisco, Austin, Texas, New York City, and Turkey, where I have clients or subcontractors that I'm working with. Codekit, still a thing I use to compile code. Sometimes I don't use it as much anymore because you can do a lot of that in VS Code. Here's a big one, Color Snapper. I recommend this one. Anywhere I'm at, I can always snap and get color, which you can't see when I'm screencasting, but I can just press a quick key command and I can get a color picker like this, right? Pick a color, boom, and I pick it, and then it stores it. So I can get those colors in different formats and stuff. It's really great. I don't have to rely on a design tool. I just boom, boom, hit the key command, and I have the color that I need in my clipboard. Daisy Disk, that just kind of helps me find big stuff on my computer and get rid of it. Design Camera, though, it used to be Rotato. This allows me to make 3D design mock-ups right here on my computer. Pretty cool. Figma, obviously, fantastical. We already talked about that. Let's talk about, if you're a developer, I'm a front-end developer. I still use GitHub Desktop. I don't do it all on the terminal. I like the desktop. That's just for me. That's my thing, okay? I know I'm going really fast. Loom is a big one. I use Loom, and I send Loom videos to my clients when I'm sending them deliverables or when I'm trying to like get feedback on an item. I'll send them a Loom video along with the file. A Loom video takes me a minute and a half to make and get a link for versus writing out a long thing in an email. People would rather watch a video. It's just easy, okay? What else do I have? Notion, like I said. Let me see. Anything? WriteFont. WriteFont's a good little font manager inside of, I think it's Mac only. There's some other font managers for both platforms, but it allows me to have all of my fonts and I can activate them and deactivate them, which is really, really nice. I can also filter down to things like, hey, maybe I just want to see serif fonts and I want to see like medium weight fonts. It's just a nice way. And a lot of design software, you can actually have text selected and then click on one of these and it'll just update the text in the design software. Similarly, I use something called Icon Jar for all of my icons. I store these locally in the different packs that I have. So filled icons, all my icons, whatever. These are nice. You can just drag and drop SVGs, drag them onto your desktop, right into your design software. That's a big one. Rocket. Oh, I love Rocket. All it allows me to do is just drop emojis no matter where I am. Okay. So I just hit the colon button and then anywhere I'm at, if I'm typing something somewhere, I'm going to get the opportunity to drop an emoji in. I use Screenflow. People ask me this all the time. What do I do to record my screen when I'm making YouTube tutorials? I use Screenflow for that. It's a paid application, but it's worth it in my opinion. Slack, Spark, blah, blah, blah. Transmit for my FTP. That's to upload files to servers. Visual Studio Code. That's my coding thing of choice. Good. That's everything that's on my computer. Let me look for questions. Let's do some quick question and answers with Jesse. Okay. All right. Do we have any questions? I know, again, I apologize so much for not being able to hear me during the tabletop view while I was doing all of those. My glasses, somebody said, I think your glasses are without glass. No, they definitely have glass in them. They're blue light glasses and they keep me from getting migraines. Yeah, good. Over time, using these chairs may put some wear and steel edges. That's okay. Hey, let's talk. That's another tool that I use. I just got this brand new chair that I'm sitting in by FlexiSpot. Okay, so man, oh man, it's hard to show you this chair, but it has lumbar support down here, which is really, really nice, and it has an adjustable headrest. So I had an older chair that I got from like the Goodwill store for like $15. It was like an IKEA, like a previous IKEA purchase somebody else had, but I like this one a whole lot better. It's really, really nice, really, really comfortable. Okay. I don't have a green screen behind me. This is actually my office. A lot of times I do have a green screen, but this whole thing is actually my office. Okay. Yeah. I am using Streamlabs OBS, not standard or normal OBS to run this live stream. Streamlabs OBS allows me to, I don't know, it's just a cleaner interface in my opinion. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. What model of Mac are you working on? This is a MacBook Pro 15-inch. I think it's 2019 or 2018 possibly. Here's a question by Lori Land. Are there full stack designer positions at big tech companies? I think my end goal is to become a designer who can code reliably, but I'm starting out as a UI UX designer first. I would say there's probably less full stack, kind of like my little title here, less full stack design positions at large companies. You know, that's more of something you'll find in like a startup or a freelance position, because when you get into big companies, they're going to want to have, a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times want to have dedicated UI designer, UX designer, front-end developers, because they can streamline their workflow a little bit more, okay? So yeah, if you want to be a full stack designer, like kind of like I am, maybe startups where you have to wear multiple hats, or maybe freelancing could be good for you. Okay, how do you do your feedback iterations with customers? That's a great question. It's especially easy if you work inside of Figma. I invite them to a Figma file. I ask them to leave comments, and then I film Loom videos and send it to them, kind of covering it. I don't show anybody work unless I've presented it first. And so I'll never just send them a link and go, tell me what you think. I always present the work, lead them through the work, and then point out all the areas that are areas of concern or that I think need iteration. And I never ask them what they think. I always ask them what their clients need. Hey, does this satisfy the needs of your user or your client, right? So I present, I'm always client or user focused. Then I ask them to leave comments and feedback in Figma, and then I resolve those comments, and I use Loom videos for a lot of communication. Very, very easy, okay? Any suggestions for a secondary screen? Yeah, I'm using an LG ultra-wide 34-inch monitor over here. It's very big, very awesome. And the font manager that I talked about earlier was called Write Font. Hey, that's great. Thanks for all the question and answers. Let's get back to some more awesome tools that I use for design, okay? Again, this is just open to Eventbrite, but check out Roast My Portfolio with me, Pablo, and Sharon on April 30th. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Let's start from the beginning. I use Dribbble and Behance a lot. Well, let's go back to Behance if we could get there. I use Dribbble and Behance a lot. Here's why. Sometimes you need inspiration. And I love both of these tools. I love both of these, you know, communities. I love both of the things that they offer, right? So definitely if you're looking for inspiration, you're looking for community, you're looking for, I don't know, live streams, content, education. I just did a workshop on Dribbble a little bit ago. So there's all sorts of fun stuff on both of these. Be an avid consumer and in person that engages on both these communities, and you won't regret it. It's a lot of fun. So I definitely use those. I use Webflow for a lot of projects. I use it for my personal site, client projects, personal projects. Love Webflow, but I also have used Editor X as my no-code website design tool of choice. I like these two. I know there's a lot of other really, really good ones out there that are coming out, but I'm still a big Webflow and Editor X fan. Those are huge to me, okay? Let's talk about some more design inspiration, shall we? Boom. I use, here's a couple, if you're looking for inspiration or you need examples of things, I use this site called Patterns, PTTRNS.com. And you can just look at like, hey, I need to see a mobile checkout experience. Click on that and you just get examples of mobile checkout experiences, right? So sometimes you need to drill down. You just need lots of examples. You need that inspiration. What do other people do? What are standards in the industry for this thing? Patterns is great. It's going to be mobile patterns usually, but you can also sort by year or popularity. Really, really good stuff. Love Patterns. I like Design Inspiration, designspiration.com. This is just purely hodgepodge of design inspiration. Sometimes I'll just start my day out looking at like 5 or 10 minutes of this stuff and just cruise through and go, oh, wow, that's really cool. Wow, that's really cool. And I'll save stuff. What I really like to look at for inspiration is different design mediums that can inspire things that I'm working on. So I do a lot of UI UX design. I'm not going to be, if I'm looking for ways to do really cool, different, unique UI UX design, I'm not necessarily just going to go look at Dribble more UI UX design. I might come down and look at something like this poster, or I might look at something like this layout that's done here, this typography, and try to get some inspiration. How can I bring that in to make my UI design look a little bit more interesting? I don't have links for all these. I ain't got time for that. So designspiration.com. I might come back after and put links in the description of the video, so check back after, okay? Sorry about that. Uplabs is another great example of, web, iOS, Android, logo, being able to find inspiration for that stuff, just really good inspiration. Also, Call to Idea is another one that I've gone to in the past. If you're looking for, let's say I need inspiration on testimonials, I can click right there on testimonials, and boom, I'm going to get some layout inspiration for testimonials. So it's another good one. It's chock full of good resources. Another good one is awards. So go to the awwwards.com. Great for inspiration. Look at, these are people who are winning awards. So if you want to do stuff that's award winning, you're going, what does that look like? It looks like this. These people are straight up winning awards. Okay. So think about that. All right. That is all of my inspiration stuff. Let's move on. Let's talk about, you already saw icon library that I use for icons, but obviously we're using the Noun project. Who's not using the Noun project out there for your icons? It's great. I could type in, something like food, okay? And I'm going to get tons and tons of food icons. The problem with using the Noun project is that if you're trying to build a system of icons and you start picking and pulling, the icons start looking really, really differently. So that's why I encourage you to buy a set or find a set of icons somewhere, maybe UI8.com or, somewhere else. So find a set that works, but icon library is good if you're doing mockups quickly and you need to get something in there. I believe you can find an icon that you like and then go to the rest of the set. So that's a thing you can do as well. Did you also know that you can change the color of icons in icon library right here? That's a thing you can do. So not everyone knows that. All right, let's talk about this one. It's a really cool one. I just found it. This is called Lordicon or Lord Icon. I don't know how you say it, but it's an animated icon set, okay, that you can use to be all animated SVG icons. That's pretty rad. Like, so we can do them on hover, right? We can do them so that they're morphing. We can just do all of them on loop, right? Just use an icon. Then you can just use each icon like loading animation or something like that. Or we can just add little accent whoopsies kind of everywhere. So really, really cool. Maybe something you might want to check out. Lots of icons. Really, really cool. So that's a fun one. Let's talk about typography. Let's talk about fonts, okay? Obviously, I don't have it in here, but like Adobe Fonts is a big one. Google Fonts, another one. Do we have to, folks, look at me in the eyes. Do we have to talk about Google Fonts and Adobe Fonts? Those are the big ones, the big players in the game, okay? So those are obviously huge ones, okay? Let's talk about my fonts though. Sometimes you just need other font sources to kind of cruise. My fonts is a good one. I like to browse by individual thing that I'm looking for. Like maybe I'm really looking for a serif font. I'm just going to browse my fonts / serif fonts. Any font or any site that allows you to kind of cruise and dictate by like filtering down. Like I need at least 8 styles. Right? Like at least 8 styles. And I want it to be a little bit weighty and a little bit wide, and the X height has to be kind of like that. Make sure that it has ligatures. And now look, now we're starting to break it down. Now we're getting to things that I actually I really like some of these. I might have to download some of these. Okay, so anything that has a filtering system is going to be really, really good. Let's talk about the OG losttype.com. They make some of the coolest fonts. And most of these are like donation. Right? So, if you like something, for instance, you can, maybe put $0, pay what you want, $0. Personal use, commercial uses, there is a difference. Make sure that you're using the right license for your project. Okay. But you can say, hey, I want to pay $0, but maybe throw them a couple bucks. That'd be nice. People work really, really long and hard on fonts. It's a hard work. It's a hard job to do. So Lost Type is a good one. They got really interesting, unique fonts that I love so much. So maybe check them out, okay? Let's talk about another one. Font Fabric. That's a good one. They have really, really cool, different fonts you might not find elsewhere. Some Rust fonts, some display fonts. Nexa, oh, what a beautiful font. Gosh, I love that one. But you know, just everything about it's really, really good. It's a great place to cruise. I've gotten 1 or 2 fonts off there. Kind of fun. Okay, so definitely check out fontfabric.com. None of these are sponsored, just things that I actually found I thought might be helpful to you. The legitimate OG is the League of Movable Type.com, the original first open source font foundry. Look at everyone that's using them. Look at this. People love the League of Movable Type. You know why? Because you can get them for free and they're beautiful and amazing. Let's go. Let's talk about League Gothic. Love it. You can just view the source. You can download it right here. Please go get some stuff from the League of Movable Type. Also, doesn't this just make you realize how beautiful a white website with black typography can be? Just if you're, as long as it's just everything's being used with beautiful size and beautiful type, doesn't it gorgeous? Okay, sorry. Just wanted to throw that in there. And then fontjoy.com is a really cool one for font pairing. You know, like we can just kind of like generate font pairings like this, and they will generate, and then you can balance the look at this. So what did it give us? Meriwether Sans, Amico, and Martel, right? So it's giving us a couple. Maybe we want more contrast between it. Okay, so then we can generate again. Really, really nice. And then all sorts of filtering and different stuff you can do. But that's Fontjoy. If you're not like really hip to the font pairing, Fontjoy might be a thing to help you. Okay, super fun. Let's have a little fun for a second, shall we? Anybody ever tried the kerning game? The kern type game? Okay, so go to type.method.ac and you can try the kerning game. And what this will do is allow you to move these letters around and try to properly kern this type, and it'll give you a score afterwards. Let's see how good I do. I got a 79. I got a C on that one. Okay, let's try another one. So we want to kern this type just a little bit. Kerning, if you don't know, is just kind of spacing the letters to make everything look correct. Let's try that. What did I get? Boy, I'm really off. 76. I got to work on my kerning skills apparently. Let's kern this. Let's kern this. Ooh, come on, come on. Give me at least above 80. Hey, oh, 100%. Oh, that's good. Okay, so that's a fun game. Let's talk about another game. This is the Bezier game. It has nothing to do with typography, just kind of fun. A game to help you master the pen tool. Go to bezier.method.ac. Also fun one. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to hold down Shift. Bingo. Hold down Shift again. Bango. We did it. All right, let's do the next one. I'm just holding down Shift to get perfect little shapes here. Oh, we're doing so good. Look, I'm going to hold here. I'm going to drag to my next, hold Shift, and drag out. Ooh, come on with it. We're going to do it one more time. How good is my pen tool? Okay, so that's a fun little game you can play as well. It'll just help you practice your pen tool skills, because everyone needs to have some pen tool skills. Okay, let's talk about the last few that I think are really, really fun. Let's talk about Artboard Studio. Okay, Artboard Studio is wonderful. Okay, if you haven't used Artboard Studio, I use it all the time. I'm just going to log into my account, and then you'll see all of the mockups that can be made inside of Artboard Studio. Let's start with a template, shall we? Okay, so start with a template, and then boom, 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 boom. They all load up. You can kind of dictate between digital mockups, print mockups, apparel mockups, anything you want. But what's really cool is that like all of these are going to be almost like Photoshop layered files that you can open up, and you can upload your artwork. You can design right here inside of the browser to create mockups. And it's just really easy. So say goodbye to Photoshop Smart Objects, I guess is what I'm saying, and say hello to Artboard Studio, because look, now we have all the objects, right? We can move them around. They have shadows. They look super realistic. But I can click on that, and I can go, okay, what do we want to update? The package design? Look, here we are in the package design. See how it says take away? Oh my gosh. What do we want to do? Do we want to move this off to the side? We can maybe add like a shape or something to it. Let's add like a shape like this. and make this really ugly design like that. And then we come back and it's updating our design. See that? Oh, that's super nice, right? And there's all sorts of elements you can add in, right? So if you're like, ooh, I really want something else on my artboard here. What do you want? I want something from the kitchen. I want to add something else here. Like maybe I want not the top view, but I want the front view because this whole thing's from the front view. Give me a coffee mug. I'm going to click on it and it's going to add a little black coffee mug to my scene. Let's just kind of take that down a little bit. Nice. And we can move it around in the layers a little bit if we want to. Let's put it down behind everything or above everything. So Artboard Studio, a great resource if you want to make mockups, packaging mockups, digital mockups. Love it to death. Super duper fun. Another one, I don't have it installed. I use Adobe Dimension on my PC because it's very RAM heavy. It's very intense on your memory and your RAM. So Adobe Xd is a big one as well if you want to do stuff like this. Super duper fun. You can. Okay, let's talk about some more 3D tools because some of you are super interested in that. I love Vectory. I'm going to log in here for a second and get Vectory set up. And while I do, I'm going to take a sip of my drink. If you want to try out these Legend Spicy Nootropic Ginger drinks, there's a link down in the description for you to do that. You should because they're really, really, really good. I highly encourage it. Hey, let's answer some more questions while we are kind of loading up Vectory, shall we? That could be kind of fun. I'm going to log in while we're doing all this. Somebody said Dartboard Studio is rad. It's Artboard Studio, but that was very close. Maybe I need a dartboard in this room, though, in this office. Maybe a dartboard would be fun. Okay. Sounds good. Oh, let's start creating. I'm going to log back in over here. Vectory. Vectory.com, a new favesies of mine because you can do 3D stuff in the browser. Super fun, super worth it, okay? So we're almost done here with the stream. Actually got to go. We might not be able to have time to do portfolio reviews. I'll have to come back later and do some more portfolio reviews, okay? But love Vectory. You're able to... Boom, 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 boom. My browser's having some issues right now, so I wish I could show you more Vectory, but for some reason, it's having issues. It's having problems. It's probably just my internet. Okay, yeah, sure. Let's open it up. Okay. Let's open up this one. This is a good one. Okay, so Vectory is a way for you to do 3D modeling in the browser. Super duper fun. Continue without authorizing. I think that's the problem is I'm not authorizing the browser, but you would have, oh man, I'm failing at showing you this. You guys, you should really check out Vectory, okay? So what it allows you to do is create 3D models in the browser, dimension, shape, just like Adobe Dimension, but all of it's taking place in the browser, and I'm doing a horrible job at demonstrating it to you guys. But, just so you know, you can add shapes, you can upload your own artwork to things, you can add complex stuff. You can actually export these out using an API and drop them on a website, which is super duper good. So definitely check out Vectory.com. It's a great resource if you're interested. Also, last one before we go for the day, because I'm running out of time and I have a meeting to get to, is Spline.design. You can create these interactive 3D components. I did a whole tutorial on Vectory and a whole tutorial on Spline. So definitely check that out. Look for a 3D tool tutorial that I did. But it's really fun because you can download this for Mac or Windows or Linux, and you can create interactions. Like, so if I hover over things or if I click and drag, you can do things with Spline. Really, really fun. So check out both of those 3D design tools. And boy, oh boy, I don't have time to review portfolios for the day because I got to go here in a few minutes. But I do want to answer a few more questions. Okay, so before I go. Does monitor resolution matter in UI design? Any thought about an art tablet for UI or UX? Yeah, I mean, you can use a tablet. I don't really use one. I know some people that do, but probably mainly for sketching, like thumbnails and things like that. If you want to use something like a Wacom tablet, I know some people use that as well. That just has to be your jam. It has to be your vibe. I prefer a mouse and a keyboard, but that's just me. Okay, so that's a good question. Spline is awesome. Yep. Cool. What do I use what do you use to write body copy for UI? Ooh, I'm wondering if you're saying what font is good for body copy. Hey, Helvetica's still reigning supreme. Roboto is great. Poppins is great. Sophia Pro is great. There's a bunch of great fonts. Proxima Nova is great. Montserrat is great. If you're looking for how do you write them with some personality, some character, and don't be too long, don't read. Okay, cool. How do you present animated icons in XD? Load as GIF in XD? Yeah, they're still working those things out. You can load GIFs into Figma right now, but I'm not sure if you can do that inside of XD. I'll have to research that and find out myself. I think we're still working out how do I get video and GIF and animation stuff to loop and play inside of design files. There's not a great answer to those questions yet, but I'm hoping soon that there will be. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, GIFs are not supported in XD at all. Yeah, it supports it in Figma. Sure, yep, absolutely. I will come back and try to leave all these links in the description of this video after I'm done, so come check back. And make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Super appreciate that. And again, if you're interested, become one of my members. You get more hands-on kind of like access and footage and content with me. I'm thinking about doing some members only live streams coming up. So if you're interested in becoming a member, then maybe we'll hang out a little bit more. Maybe we'll do some Zoom calls. Maybe we'll feature your work on the channel a little bit more. Would love to do that. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic Friday. I hope you have a great weekend. Yes, somebody said mahalo. Oh, that's from my hometown from Hawaii. So mahalo, that means thank you. Thank you to you all for being here, part of the stream. Appreciate you guys for supporting the content in any way that you do. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you in the next live stream. That's next Friday. Join us here, right back here on the same channel, same time, next Friday. Talk to you guys soon. Take care.